I went from being a software engineer to a full-time photographer and studio owner. In this video, I'm talking about the 3 tangible steps that I took to turn my passion into my career. Hi, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Emily and I help creative entrepreneurs and service providers grow their small business through practical, no-fluff tips and strategies. To get into these 3 tips, it's important to set the stage so that you know who the heck I am and how I got here. So I went to college for computer science, got my bachelor's degree, and I also got my MBA. But my entrepreneurial journey actually began way back when I was in high school when I ran an Etsy store. And on this Etsy store, I sold handmade crafts. I probably only made $500 and actually ended up losing money on supplies and time and everything. But it was my first real taste of entrepreneurship and I absolutely loved it. And what I loved most was actually marketing my Etsy store and doing all the packaging and doing all the businessy things more than I actually enjoyed making the crafts that I was selling. Fast forward to college and I commandeered my family's DSLR, which I was already using to take pictures of said handmade polymer clay charms for my Etsy store. I took that camera to college with me and started taking graduation photos for seniors to help pay off tuition. It was very casual and I was charging dirt cheap, but it felt like a lot of money at the time and it was a lot of fun. Right after I graduated college, I landed my absolute dream job as a software engineer in Silicon Valley and I thought I had made it. It was everything I had ever wanted up until that point in time, but as I started working, I felt like something was missing. It really just wasn't fulfilling for me to work for the man and writing code all day. Not for me. I really did love all of the people that I worked with, but the work itself, the code, just wasn't super interesting to me. Cue 2020. We all know what happened. One day we were working in the office and the next we were working from home for the next 2 years. And then the only thing that I actually enjoyed about my job, seeing my coworkers and interacting with people, was taken away from me in the blink of an eye. So I did what a lot of us did and I poured all of my extra time and energy into my hobby, which was my photography business. I was still taking graduation portraits at the time, but around this time is when I had my first brand photography client. She's a jewelry designer. When I worked with her, everything kind of just clicked because brand photography was the perfect combination of all of my skills and interests. Photography, running a business, taking photos for other business owners, it was perfect. And this was really the turning point for me when I asked myself, what if I could do this all the time? Making this shift wasn't easy. I spent all of my extra time, evenings, weekends, saying no to hanging out with friends to learn photography, to learn the ropes, and to figure out the business side of things. This was a huge, massive period of growth for me in my business. I found a mentor to work with, and this was an absolute game changer for me personally. We worked on building a strategy that worked for me and what I wanted to achieve rather than chasing every new trendy thing that I saw on Instagram. Which leads me to step number 1. If you want to go full-time, focus on building the business side of things. When I got started, I focused way too much on the technical aspect of photography when I should have also been learning how to run a business effectively at the same time. Even though I have a formal education with my MBA, I was too focused on photography to figure out how to apply what I had learned to my own business. I needed to work with my mentor to help me connect the dots of my own knowledge to my business. Now, becoming a better photographer is obviously important. You should be good at your craft and you should always be striving to be a better photographer or creative or whatever industry thing it is that you do. But it's not just about taking great photos and being skilled at your craft. It's also about understanding how to market those photos, how to manage client relationships, and how to keep your finances in check. If you don't have a handle on the business side of things, it's going to be more painful than necessary to go full-time in your creative business. Once I realized this, I dove headfirst into building my business. I doubled down on my personal brand, I created profitable packages and pricing, and I stopped focusing on getting followers on Instagram and started focusing on building connections. That leads me to step number 2, which is to build a community, not just a clientele. In business, relationships are everything, but with social media usually being at the forefront of the marketing conversation, it is so easy to get lost in vanity metrics like followers, engagement rate, comments, likes, all of those things. I don't have a huge amount of followers, and I had even less when I was focusing on building my community and building up my business to go full time. What we should be focusing on social media is what it was originally intended for: connecting with people. Basically, making friends. This means talking to people, replying to comments, and also looking for other people in your industry or potential clients that you could just have a conversation with on Instagram. It doesn't have to be weird. It doesn't have to be icky. We just have to talk like people. If you're wondering, hey Emily, isn't that going to take a long time? Yes, but if you're here, I know that you are wanting to build a sustainable business that lasts for years to come, and I'm not here to teach you how to get 10K followers in the next 10 days or something crazy like that. It takes time to build meaningful relationships, but relationships last forever. Some of my best friends I've made through Instagram and through my own business. Making real connections will never go out of style, and it is my favorite way and most sustainable way to build a business. Back to the story, after doing these two things for a little over a year consistently, in June 2021, I officially quit my job, signed a lease on my studio, and became a full-time photographer. Fast forward to today, and I have hit milestones that I didn't even think were possible in a photography business, and we are just going up from here. I opened my own studio, I have replaced my salary with my photography business income, and most importantly, I have the time and freedom to do what I love every single day, and for me that is priceless. Now this brings me to my third step, which isn't really a third step. You can do this at any point in time and should be doing it all the time, but it is to embrace the mindset of iteration over perfection. I will dive deeper into this mindset in another video, but the core of what iteration over perfection means is that know that nothing is going to be perfect. It's similar to progress over perfection, but I prefer to use the term iteration because iteration means you are doing something. We do not get better unless we do something. We're going to fail at it, just like you can't hop on a bike and start riding without falling off of it. If we don't practice things in our business and practice building that business muscle, it's not going to get better. The biggest thing to know about being an entrepreneur that is only amplified when you go full time is that things go wrong. Things fail a lot. It is a matter of when, not if. And that is okay. That is part of the journey. So to build this resilience muscle, to look at everything as a learning experience, we have to start doing and failing. No matter what anyone says, look at every single opportunity as a learning experience. My journey from being a software engineer to becoming a photographer has taught me so much about business, about life, and about following your passion. I am seriously so much happier today than I was working my corporate job, and I want to remind you that it is never too late to start doing what you love. And if I could turn my passion into a career, so can you. I would love to hear about your own thoughts and stories. Are you thinking about doing a career change? Have you already done a career change? Let me know in the comments. Let's chat about it. And if you found this video helpful, give it a like and share it with somebody that you think needs to hear it. In my next 3 videos, I will be deep diving into each one of these steps. So stay tuned and I'll see you there.